So today on Managing a Mini Empire, we're going to take it back to the core foundation. We're going to go and focus on structuring today. So you're going to go with me today to the Secretary of State's office, and I'm going to show you how to structure your corporation, your foundation. This is what you want to launch your platform off of. Any entrepreneurship, any business, whatever it is you're doing, you want to make sure you're structured properly. So we're going to do that today. I thought while we had some time, it'd be important for me to kind of give you guys an insider. I've done this before, but just give you an inside scoop of like my mentality, how I process information, sort of say, the things that I surround myself with, because when you're managing a mini empire, you really want to be able to structurally and strategically have things in order, in place. I mean, you really have to be a strategic mind, because obviously an empire would indicate that you have multiple businesses or multiple irons in the fire. So in order to maintain or to keep up those, to be able to give equal time and equal energy, equal effort, equal proficiency to each one of those things, you got to strategically coordinate your time, your efforts, your thoughts, your energy, and everything. So once again, I'm inside of my bedroom. It's early in the morning, just finished my morning routine. I've actually changed it recently, the start of the year here. So instead of waking up at 6 a.m., I wake up at 5 a.m. So I could do about a good 45-minute workout in my personal gym. Then I'll come and I'll have a little time, 15 minutes, to take my breather and get ready for my hygiene and getting ready for the day. So one of the things I like to do because of my interest in so many different arrays of things is, during my time before I go and head off for the day, I like to go and do my my language studies. So at this given time, I'm working on simultaneously about 3 or 4 different languages. So I have these study cards that I use, these are my Arabic cards. So I think I probably have, I don't know. There's a good about 80-90 cards in here. Anyways, I'll go through these every day, and I actually have the majority of that stored in my memory palace. My memory palaces. So we'll talk about that later. That's another good way to structurally and strategically set your information in your mind so that you can come back to it at any desired time, any desired, well, there's certain paths that you take to get to it, so I won't say any desired way, but you can come back to any information at any desired time. So going back to the language thing, so I'm studying Arabic. I have my Wheeler's Latin book, which I don't get to too often, I'll be honest, because this is a very intense book, and Latin is just a very, it's a very different language, and even with English being, very Latin based, sort of say, taking a lot of words from Latin, and me also being able to, comprehend and speak Spanish, which is also a Latin based language, so to say. But Latin itself is still very, it takes time, at least for me, it takes time to grasp my mind around the concepts, the cultural mentality of the people of that time, and that's really how you grasp the full concept of a language. Because it's one thing to just be able to say words, but a lot of times, like even in English or whatever your language is that you're speaking and listening to this in, the context that these words are said in can have different meanings, so you have to be able to understand the culture, the mentality of the people at that time to understand the words. I hope my mic is on. So I'm trying a new setup. I have my iPhone 7, the Plus, attached to the selfie stick, attached to a little microphone so I can get better sound quality. So I hope that's working. I'm learning, folks. With my production company, I've been studying and focusing on every aspect of production that I can, so that I can actually oversee, and not so much micromanage, but I can oversee it and know exactly what's going on and exactly what I'm looking for at the end of the day. So yeah, going off of what I was stating, what I surround myself with, Once again in my bedroom. Sorry if it's a little messy. I opened up with the car magazine, you know, making sure I keep my dreams reaffirmed in my mind. This is the Rolls Royce. That was the Rolls Royce Dawn, but I'm into the Rolls Royce Phantom, which is one of my dream cars. Also my Ferrari here, which I keep posted up on my focus board. And you know, not to say everyone has to do this. I think it's instrumental. I think it's good to do just because it gives you an idea of what your vision looks like once you get there. So it's not so much the material things that, you know, you're going after, you're striving to have and things like that. It's those milestones that you want to meet. So once you've reached a certain epitome of what you would call success or achievement, you're going to realize that by what you've obtained, what you've accomplished, and those accomplishments usually have to materialize in some form or fashion. A lot of times we like those things to materialize in the form and fashion of currency. Whatever you want to call them, I had learned how hard it was to obtain that level of success, and that gave me a greater appreciation for everybody else who was there because I realized they had went through that.
Do you know? I'm gonna stop you right there really quick. Do you know? You know how much I love the fact that you're talking about this in past tense. That the fact that it's already happened.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the vision is that clear, man. I saw myself, and I go up there. I take a couple beats because, like I said, and I really have to muster inside myself which direction I'm gonna go with this speech. And then the fact of the matter is that each and every person who's there deserved to be there because they went through the same struggles, and some of them, their plight was even tougher than what mine was. So, you know, they earned their right amongst to be gods amongst men.
And you know what, man? To be honest, I don't want to sit here and say I know you or know what your response is gonna be. What I can say, just based off of this morning's experience, that you trusted me enough to fly your, $1,500 machine and ran the risk of knowing that I could fuck it up. In which case I did, and the fact that you didn't blow up and you were very calm, cool, and collected, and very humble. I can imagine that you're going, regardless of how you feel that day, unless you just really woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I can imagine you taking the more humble approach.
All right. Everyone has demons. We've talked about this before. Demons are not these things that are these spirits floating around. Demons are these psychological imbalances, chemical imbalances in your brain, that exert out to your body and which cause you to act in certain ways. So the chemicals that are excreted, in order for you to function properly, everything has to be in balance.
But the story of the two wolves.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard of it at some point in time.
Aesop, one of Aesop's fables.
It just may as well be. I don't know the exact source of it, but an older gentleman was sitting with his grandson, and they were around this campfire, and the old man says, there's two wolves that live inside of you. You have the wolf of jealousy, greed, envy, hatred, anger, all the 7 deadly sins, you could say, essentially. And then you have the wolf of patience, temperance, diligence, courage, all the positive aspects. And one of them's gonna eat the other one out. One of them's just gonna rip the other one to shreds, and one of them's gonna win over the other. And the grandson asked, grandfather, which one's gonna win, And he said, whichever one you feed most.
Okay, so what we're doing here, we're here at the Secretary of State's office. What we are doing here is getting down to the foundational core of your structure, filing our corporate articles, our corporate documents. So as you were asking, I have my colleague, my friend, Donnell here. You guys have seen him before on film with me. So what I'm doing, I'm actually coming here and I'm filing foreign status because I have a foreign corporation operating in another jurisdiction. So generally when you establish a corporation, you're chartered by that particular state, which has its jurisdiction over your bylaws and over your operating abilities. So in order for you to legally and effectively operate in another jurisdiction, you have to inform them that you will be operating on their doorstep. So what I'm filing here is, once again, a foreign status for my company to do business in Arizona. So what they're going to do essentially is recharter me again. They're going to give me another charter that I'll have to maintain. The easy way to do it is to go to the Secretary of State's website of the state that you're in, print out the documents that they're requesting for you to have when you come to the office here, and have those prepared. Fill out as much as you can. Have any supporting documents that you're going to need. I personally like to establish my own articles because the articles are your formation contract. This is what gives your corporation life, what gives it birth. So this is what says what you can and can't do. So a corporation wants to do everything that you want, are able to do. So it wants to buy houses, buy commercial real estate, buy real estate. Let's just say buy real estate, wholesale price. It wants to buy vehicles, fleet price. You know what I mean? It wants to be able to obtain credit. It wants to be able to enter into and out of contracts, and it wants to be able to function as URI. Aside from URI, so that it has its own protection, its own legal rights to do these things. And that's the whole idea behind a corporation, is establishing a line of defense. The officers and the people who actually orchestrate the functionings of the corporation, they want to be protected from the decisions that are made, because a lot of times corporations will take in funds, from various people, investors, whatever the case may be. And sometimes the idea doesn't work. Sometimes the business doesn't work. It's not successful. Well, you don't want those people coming after you personally and saying, "Hey, Darnell, where's my money at, man?" Well, I put your money into this company and there was a lot done with it, so you want them to go after that company. So that's the reason that you establish this corporational base, this functioning entity that is a legal entity. So let me go ahead and file this paperwork, and I will get back to you guys just walking you through the steps that I've taken to do that.